Good morning, and thank you for joining our Sunday morning meditation Dharma service. Today, in our program, we will have many forms of meditation. So, we will have bowing meditation, moving meditation, we will have sitting and chanting meditation, and we will also enjoy a Dharma talk given by Reverend Yeowon. And the title of her talk is You Are the Great Vision. So if we could all rise and welcome B to guide us in moving meditation.
Good morning, everyone. Begin with our feet shoulder width apart. Let's just begin, seeing that or feeling that string attached, or the spider silk, as I like to think of it, attached to the top of our head. And just start scanning down from the top of the head. All the sensations you're feeling. Into the face, loosen the face. Relax the shoulders, let them just drop and hang. Come down into the chest, scanning into the stomach, into the hips, loosen the hips, dropping that tailbone so you're almost seated in your stance. Softening the knees, the ankles, and really feeling firmly rooted into your space. Find your breath. Let's extend our arms outward just to about waist height. Keeping the shoulders nice and relaxed. We'll stand like this for a moment. Now keeping our arms outward as they are. Begin shifting your weight from one side to the other. It's very important in Qigong and Tai Chi is the shifting of our weight. Now let's start incorporating our arms. We're going to just, as if we're making ripples on a pond. Feeling the energy flowing through the hands. And we'll keep our arms outward. Now, we did some balancing last week. I'd like to continue with some of that. So it's good to create proficiency and not just practice something different every time. So while keeping our hands out, step forward with one foot, feel nice and rooted before really stepping forward. Big toe on the floor, and we're just going to turn our ankle in one direction and in the other direction. Feeling that stretch, feeling rooted, and coming back. Now onto the other, feel nice and rooted, and then step forward, turning the ankle. And in the other direction. And coming back. Now again, shift your weight. Let's feel nice and rooted. We're going to now lift the knee up, which lifts the arm. Hold. can only come up as much as comfortable. If you can't come all the way up, that's okay. You can leave your toe onto the ground if that helps with your balance. Bring it all the way up. Hold. Strengthening the core, helping our balance. And again on the other side. Sometimes we have a tendency to keep our foot up. Just let your ankle drop and hang. And one more on the other side. And down. Let's stand like this for a moment. Bring it all back in. And we'll finish off with the vitality movements. The first, turning our palms upward, breathing in to about chest height, and exhaling. And these practices can also be done sitting down. These help move chi. They also help move lymph. Lymph is very important. It doesn't have a strong heart to move like the blood system. It requires movement. Last one. On this next one, we'll do some side bends, lifting one arm up, bend to the opposite side. Feel that stretch. Coming up, breathing in, exhaling. On the other side. One more on each side. Again. Coming back to center, we'll now cross our arms and then bend back, bringing your fists together. And I like to hum through this. I'll massage those nerves. Big breath in, now breathe out. Tightening those muscles and then releasing. One more. Finish off by enlacing our fingers, pushing up and out, really opening up the chest, coming down, releasing. Two more. Last one. Thank you. Just please remain standing.
So when we see this one circle image called the Yeowon song, it represents our true nature, the Dharmakaya Buddha, which is loving, impartial, perfectly complete and selfless. So let us join our palms together to make 4 standing bows in gratitude to the 4 graces, which is the content of the Yeowon song. So we bow in gratitude to the grace of heaven and earth, honoring the limitless blessings of nature and the universe. We bow in gratitude to the grace of parents, grateful for this human life, and to those who have guided and nurtured us. We bow in gratitude to the grace of fellow beings, recognizing the truth of interconnectedness. We bow in gratitude to the grace of laws, both natural and secular, that guide us, protect us, and promote justice. Now take a moment to turn to your neighbor Buddha to say good morning with your bows. Morning. So take a moment to find a comfortable position. And now we will enjoy a sitting meditation guided by Patty Wanjijong.
The method of sitting meditation is simple and easy. Sit comfortably on the floor or in a chair. Breathe in, grab all your tension, and breathe it out. Open up your chest and heart. Stretch up tall and align your spine from your neck to your tailbone. Relax your shoulders and arms. Then allow your hands to rest on your knees. Bring your attention to your breath. As you exhale, release all mental and physical tension. Invite your attention to abide in your chi energy field, which is called Danjan. This is located about 2 inches below your navel and is the power center for your breathing. Open your eyes and gaze downward over the end of your nose into the floor. Keep your mouth closed and allow the tip of your tongue to rest gently against the roof of your mouth. When your mind is concentrated and calm, pure and clear saliva may gather in the mouth. You may swallow it. Relax your facial muscles and notice your gentle smile. If your face or body begins to itch, do not scratch. This is just a sign of the energy circulating in your body. Simply note the itching and let it pass. If your legs ache unbearably, you may change position very slowly and quietly so that you maintain a calm stillness and do not interrupt others. When thoughts arise in your mind, do not be discouraged or disturbed by them. Simply focus on your breathing without reacting to or playing with those thoughts. Recognize them as thoughts. They will disappear by themselves. And remember, keep bringing your awareness back to your Danjan breathing center. If you continue practicing meditation for a long period of time, you will rest in the realm of samadhi, deep meditation, in which the mind is calm, concentrated, perfectly focused, and at peace, with no distinction between self and others, time and place. We are grateful to sit quietly together, finding the still point within. May we be here now, aware of our ever calm and alert spirit.
Now we will continue our practice by chanting the Yeowon song Vow and the Heart Sutra, led by John Delicante on page 4 and 5 in your chant book.
One song vow. Yeowon is the realm of samadhi beyond words and speech, the gateway of birth and death, transcending being and unbeing, the origin of heaven and earth, parents, fellow beings and laws, the true nature of all Buddhas, enlightened masters, unenlightened people, and sentient beings. Yeowon manifests as both permanence and impermanence, viewed as permanent till one unfolds into an infinite world that is ever abiding, spontaneous, just as it is viewed as impermanent, till one unfolds into infinite worlds through the cycle of formation, duration, decay, and extinction of the universe, the birth, aging, illness, and death of all beings, according to how we use our minds, bodies. In the four forms of birth, we transform through the 6 realms of existence, progressing or regressing, grace arising from harm or harm from grace. Therefore, unawakened beings vow to practice wholeheartedly, modeling ourselves after Yeowon Sangha Dharma Kaya Buddha by cultivating our minds and bodies thoroughly, human affairs and universal principles thoroughly, using our minds and bodies skillfully, thus progressing rather than regressing, and receiving grace rather than harm, till we attain the great empowerment of Yeowon and become one with the nature of Yeowon. Heart Sutra. The Bodhisattva of great compassion, when deeply practicing Prajnapada Pita, that all 5 aggregates are empty, and thus became free from all suffering and distress. Shariputra form does not differ from emptiness. Emptiness does not differ from form. Is emptiness. Emptiness is form. Same is true of sensations, perceptions, impulses, and consciousness. Shariputra, all dharmas are empty, they do not appear or disappear, not tainted or pure, do not increase or decrease. Emptiness, no form, no sensations, no perceptions, no impulses, consciousness, no eyes, no ears, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, form, no sound, no Parasamgate Bodhisvaha Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvaha Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvaha.
Let's take a minute to stretch our body. Roll the neck to one side and the other side. And put your hands on your waist and roll your waist. I'm sorry, put your hands on, not on your waist, on your knees. And in the other direction. And then you could make yourselves comfortable. Stretch out your knees if you would like. And let us bring our palms together to welcome Reverend Yeowon, who is giving a talk today with the title, You Are the Great Vision. Grand Vision, sorry.
Good morning. Today I want to share with you great hope and vision. Are you curious about that? Yeah. I come from South Korea, a country with a long history marked by several wars. One of these wars occurred not too long ago, about 70 years ago, with North Korea, a country that was once part of the same nation. During this conflict, the United States joined the fight, risking many lives to help. And for that, we remain sincerely grateful. At one point, nearly the entire Korean peninsula had been overtaken by the North, with only a small portion of South Korea remaining. But then General MacArthur made a dramatic turn of events with the success of the Incheon landing operation, which completely changed the course of the war. Fast forward 70 years from that devastating war, South Korea has achieved miraculous development, becoming a global leader in IT. So today we live as though there are no remnants of the war, but in reality, the Korean peninsula remains in a state of armistice, with tensions high at all times. Recently, North Korea provocatively launched large balloons filled with trash and manure across the border, causing harm to many people. So how did South Korea respond? You know that? South Korea used dynamite. The BTS song Dynamite. They played BTS songs over loudspeakers aimed at the North. It's humorous, but it's also a sobering reminder of how a single nation, once united, now finds itself on the brink of pointing guns at each other. Before the war, we all lived together on the same land. But in an instant, we became enemies, fighting to kill each other, denying each other's existence, and standing in opposition. What caused such a tragedy? Is there truly no way to bring an end to this? The message I want to share with you today is about these very questions. How has the world tried to solve such tragedies up until now? As we all know, the first half of the 20th century was a time of great turmoil, when humanity's conflicts and divisions erupted into 2 world wars. World political leaders, recognizing the urgency of the situation, realized that without creating a global institutions like the United Nations, the world would face destruction in a 3rd world war. There was a processing awareness of this existential threat, combined with the desire for lasting peace. As a result, just 2 months after the end of World War II, the United Nations was established with the purpose of transcending national borders and uniting countries. Underpinning the foundation of the UN was the philosophy of Immanuel Kant's idea of perpetual peace, first introduced over 220 years ago. Kant argued that for true and lasting peace, it was essential to establish domestic laws, international laws, and what he called cosmopolitan laws, laws that govern the world as a whole. His call for a rule of law to govern the world finally became a reality 150 years later with the creation of the United Nations. So if Kant's vision of perpetual peace with systems like republicanism and rule of law has largely been realized on the outside, then the world should be at peace. But when we look at the state of the world today, it's clear that lasting peace has not been achieved yet. This points to a limitation in Kant's philosophy. So one philosopher who addressed this issue was Karl Jaspers. He argued that achieving word connection between people, the word peace is not something that can be done through laws or regulations alone. It requires a genuine connection between people, a communication of true hearts, or what he called existence. Jaspers offers an example. Imagine someone is about to destroy the entire world with a nuclear bomb. In the moment of deciding whether to press a button or not, he says it's not Kant's framework of law and order that will bring about perpetual peace. Telling the person that's a violation of the international law. You'll be punished. That won't prevent catastrophe, right? Instead, it's the decision made from human rational existence, from an individual's innate morality and sincere heart that will truly lead to peace. From this, we can draw an important insight. The modern crises we face, like wars, conflicts, the climate crisis, pandemics, cannot be fully resolved by external forces like power of regulation alone. Why? Because at the root of this visible crisis lies a deeper spiritual crisis. Without addressing this fundamental issue, the same problems keep reappearing over time. Over 100 years ago, the founding master Sotaesan diagnosed the core of modern crisis as the spiritual enslavement to materialism. With the development of scientific civilization, the human spirit, which should be making use of material things, has daily weakened, while the power of material things, which human beings should be using, has daily grown stronger. So without cultivating our spiritual strength, the growing influence of materialism has come to dominate human spirit, leading humanity into a turbulent sea of suffering. Founding Master Sotaesan's diagnosis was profound. The internal spiritual crisis, our inner fears, greed, attachment, ignorance, and resentment has manifested outwardly, becoming war, climate disasters, poverty, and disease. When we are afflicted by serious illness, we need to do more than just treat the symptoms. We must address the root cause of the disease to truly heal. Similarly, in this world, while we work to solve these visible problems, we must also strive to tackle the underlying issues that give rise to them. Whose responsibility is it to tackle the fundamental spiritual crisis over time? It lies with religion. How should we approach this? We need to cultivate the neglected and fallow fields of our minds. We must extinguish the fire of greed, awaken the eye of our minds to the truth, and train ourselves to use our minds wisely. If religion ignores this responsibility and instead ignites the sparks of conflict and struggle, sowing anxiety, fear, and turmoil across the globe, humanity's path toward a true, harmonious civilization that is complete both internally and externally will remain distant and unattainable. So the founding master Sotaesan stated that overcoming the modern crisis faced by humanity cannot be achieved by the power of politics and science alone, nor by the power of religion and study of the way alone. Just as a car cannot move safely and effectively without both wheels functioning very well, politics and religion must join hands to create a new world that addresses the spiritual and physical poverty, ignorance, and disease affecting humanity. So the third head Dharma master, Cardinal Master Daesan, devoted his life to exploring how to bring this vision of the founding master Sotaesan and Cardinal Master, the second head Dharma master Jeongsan, to fruition. He contemplated how we could ensure that both wheels of our metaphorical car operate smoothly, guiding humanity toward a life of peace and fulfillment. To tackle the modern crisis, he put forward the three great proposals for world peace: the establishment of united religions, the creation of a common market, and the training for the cultivation of the human mind field, as you can see in this paper. So today I will focus on the first proposal, the establishment of UR. Cardinal Master Daesan proposed the establishment of united religions, much like the creation of the United Nations, which came from the painful realization and reflection by political leaders on their inability to fully meet the responsibilities and obligations required to achieve lasting peace. In the same way, we as religious people must also take up our own inherent responsibilities in the face of today's crisis. The purpose of creating UR is not simply to have a new organization, but to foster a deep spirit of unity and brotherhood among all religions, ensuring that we can flourish together. Through this coalition, all religions will unite in a shared effort to cultivate humanity's mind field, facing the challenges of our time with one heart and one purpose. Without establishing a central unifying body with representation and cohesion, similar to UN, and without all religions joining forces to address the common issues facing humanity, we will be unable to resolve the fundamental crisis of today's crisis, leaving humanity in an unsolvable predicament, leading to immense suffering. Cardinal Master Taeshan envisioned that by establishing united religions alongside the UN, both organizations could collaboratively steer the world toward lasting peace. His three great proposals for world peace serve as complementary pillars to Kant's philosophy of perpetual peace. Externally, we govern the world through laws in accordance with the Kant's ideals, while internally, we cultivate humanity's mind field in line with the Cardinal Master Taeshan's vision to achieve perpetual world peace. This dual approach represents a profound aspiration for humanity, calling for the emergence and realization of great ideas that will guide us toward a truly civilized world, harmonizing both spiritual and material aspects. So it's a significant hope and great vision for our world in desperate need of transformation. So why have we, as religious individuals, not been fulfilling our inherent responsibilities and duties? Why have the tragic conflicts between religions persisted for so long? The root of this issue lies in the failure of all religions to recognize that their fundamental principles are originally one. Instead, they create divisions and barriers, failing to unite in harmony. This oneness is not merely a numerical unity. It's a unity that exists amidst diversity. It means that while names and forms may differ, they are non-dual. It's like our fingers of a hand, distinct yet part of a single entity. This embodies the Yeowon ideology, Yeowon주의, a grand universal ideology. Jesus sought to renew humanity's mind by teaching love, mercy, and compassion. Confucius aimed to rejuvenate the human minds through loyalty, filial piety, and righteousness. Similarly, our founding master Sotaesan taught the threefold study, the four essentials, the fourfold grace, and the 8 articles to renew the minds of humanity. At their core, their meanings and truth they convey are fundamentally one. Since the establishment of Cardinal Master Taeshan's 3 great proposals for world peace, Won Buddhism has actively pursued the grand vision of creating the United Religions Organization. In 1970, Cardinal Master Taeshan sent his disciples to the inaugural assembly of the World Conference of Religions for Peace in Kyoto, Japan, to convey the aspiration for the United Religions Organization. It's deeply moving to think about how, from a lesser-known Eastern faith, he urged his disciples to deliver this message among the vast landscape of established religions, even when we were not a formal member. Following that, Won Buddhism has been a formal member of WCRP since the Second Assembly and has continued to engage actively. In 1984, Cardinal Master Taeshan himself advocated for the 3 great proposals for world peace during the visit of Pope John Paul II to South Korea, which resonated deeply with the Pope. Additionally, Won Buddhism has played a significant role in the interfaith cooperation efforts through many organizations. So, how can we, gathered here today, ensure that all religions unite to address the modern crisis and establish a united religion organization, ultimately bring about true world peace? How can we each play our parts, no matter how small? There are many paths we could take, but I would like to emphasize the idea of establishing UR within our minds first. The root of dividing us from them and rejecting differences does not lie in the abstract and vast concept of religion, but within our own hearts. Within each of us, there are numerous boundaries of ethnicity, nation, religion, belief, and fundamentally, the boundary of self. How far do your boundaries extend? How far? While some boundaries can play an important role in allowing individuals to live fully as members of society, most boundaries tend to push away and reject what is different from us. We draw lines around ourselves, believing that we are good, we are right, and we are noble, while everything outside those lines is bad, wrong, and inferior. Even within a single community, if we proclaim to be one family or one brotherhood with our words, but reject, ostracize, or harbor jealousy toward those who don't align with us in our minds, that community will never achieve harmony or growth. For someone who has not experienced true unity, calling for all religions to move towards oneness will only be an empty slogan. From a young age, I have cherished my family very deeply. Whenever our family faced challenges, I would do my utmost to resolve the issues. My life's purpose was to ensure their comfort of my hardworking grandmother and my parents while raising my younger siblings. The boundary of my family was so strong that if anyone troubled them, a surge of anger would rise, leading to an instinctive rejection of that person. Despite my devotion to my family, their problems were not easily resolved, and I carried the weight of my heartache for a long time. But one day during a retreat at the center headquarters of Won Buddhism, I expressed my struggles to my teacher, eagerly anticipating that how he would provide a solution for me. However, the teacher said, "You're struggling because you are trying to carry only your family on a small boat. You need to carry everyone in the world in a big boat." I felt an immense shock, as if I had been struck. So in that moment, I realized that I was not only feeling my family's pain at that very moment, but also the tragedies of the entire world as if they were my own. My strongest boundary shattered, and the love I had for my family expanded to encompass the world. I felt a profound desire to help everyone, no matter who they are. This realization resonated with the teachings of the Buddha, Jesus, and Cardinal Master Sotaesan, and all enlightened masters. I understood that breaking free from my limited distinctions and boundaries would allow me to see the world as my home and all humanity as my family. This expansive heart represents the fundamental spirit of the you are within me. So who are on your boat? Who are on your boat? Has your inner family united? Has your workplace become united? You and I are not two, but one. This true oneness exists beyond the thought of having achieved it. If a great vision arises from this awareness, and if it spreads like a wave from heart to heart, then the establishment of the united religions and world peace will naturally follow. I still carry numerous boundaries in my mind. I sometimes reject and push away those who hold different values, creating a cold atmosphere. However, I promise to first establish this you are within my mind. Only then can I confidently encourage others in the religious community to join in creating the you are. We are all different. Our religions may differ, as may our ethnic backgrounds, values, and wealth. Yet, when we come together in this Dharma hall to practice and seek our true nature, we become like one family, one brotherhood. I sincerely hope you will join me in raising this wave of awareness, becoming protagonists in building one world where everyone thrives together. A world that embodies true civilization, where science and the study of the way progress in harmony. Shall we read together aloud the significance of the establishment of the united religions? The significance of the establishment of the united religions. All of us, as followers of different religions, must unite and establish united religions to stand on equal footing with the political UN. We bear the duty and responsibility to eradicate the spiritual and physical poverty, disease, and ignorance that plague humanity. You are the hope, the great vision. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Reverend Yeowon, for your wonderful talk. That's exactly how I read it, your title, You Are the Grand Vision. So let us open our booklets to page 6, and David will lead us in reading the essential dharmas of daily practice.
Essential dharmas of daily practice. 1. The mind is originally free from disturbance, but disturbances arise in response to sensory conditions. Let us store the equanimity of our true nature by letting go of disturbances. 2. The mind is originally free from delusion, but delusions arise in response to sensory conditions. Let us restore the wisdom of our true nature by letting go of delusions. 3. The mind is originally free from wrongdoing, but wrongdoings rise in response to sensory conditions. Let us restore the precepts of our true nature by letting go of wrongdoing. 4. Let us replace disbelief, greed, laziness, and ignorance with belief, zeal, questioning, and dedication. 5. Let us return resentment into gratitude. 6. Let us turn dependency into self-reliance. 7. Let us turn reluctance to learn into willingness to learn well. 8. Let us turn reluctance to teach into willingness to teach well. 9. Let us turn lack of public spirit into eagerness to serve the good of all.
So I have a few announcements to make. We have, for those of you who have Dharma names, there is a Kyohadan meeting directly after service in the conference room. And then we also have this week coming up is a coming home retreat, which is this flyer, and you'll see it in the foyer, and it's also online. And that starts on Wednesday, October 2nd, and continues until on Sunday, October 6th. And then the last announcement is there is a introductory class for Won Buddhism. If you want to know more about Won Buddhism, that is happening on October 26th. That's a Saturday at 10 a.m. And then let's turn to page 9 to sing the morning prayer song. Dharmakaya Buddha for grace. I begin a new day in your presence. Today full of health and with peace of mind. May I walk along the path of the Buddha. Dharmakaya Buddha, fourfold grace. I begin a new day with your grace. Today, gratefully and with gentle words, may I live in harmony with all those I meet. Dharmakaya Buddha, fourfold grace. I begin a new day with compassion. Today, making the world a more loving place. May I do all that I can for one world. Thank you for your practice today. And before, on your way out, we have these little gifts, which are little keychains, and this from Korea, and you can please take one. And this means turning a life of resentment into a life of gratitude. So you'll see this. And also there is it was Gil's birthday a couple days ago. So there's a birthday cake for Gil. So if we could celebrate his birthday, please have some cake on your way out. Have a lovely week.